Easily blocked.
Tell you what, you start running so I can stab you in the back.
Nobody here now.
So, Skyrim's combat. What to say about Skyrim's combat? Okay, let's go ahead and open this can of worms. In this episode of Mod Blender, we'll be covering several combat mods with a focus on changing up the melee combat. I'll cover ranged combat and magical combat in other episodes. Now, some people might like Skyrim's melee combat, and if so, that's okay. We all like different things. But to me, it has always felt unsatisfying and just not very exciting or visceral. Skyrim has great dynamic exploration and atmosphere, but it's very weak in its storytelling, character interactions, and the combat. We've actually had a lot of combat mods for Skyrim over the years, with some of them being better than others. I've found that the ones I liked the most were the ones that were most script heavy, and because of that, they were the ones that made my game unstable for long playthroughs. After looking over the current slate of mods for melee combat, I decided that I wanted to mix up several mods to try to get the melee combat where I wanted it. In future episodes, I may cover a couple of other new combat mods, namely Combat Gameplay Overhaul and Combat Behavior Compulsion. But for this episode, I'm focusing on a unique mixture of smaller mods. So what I'm going to do is to briefly cover a few of the core mods of this mixture, listing some of the main features, and then I'll provide a showcase of all the mods working together so you can know what to expect if you run the same combinations. And at the very end, I'll showcase a couple of dragon mods that work well with the mixture. Let's get started. These two mods are the beating heart of this mod blend, and are important for changing up the repetitive animations of the vanilla combat. Nemesis is a tool that is an alternative to FNIS for animation replacement. As an end user, all you really need to know is that it is a tool that allows modders to bring you even better animation mods. Dynamic Animation Replacer, DAR for short, is a tool to allow modders to make different individual animations for every character, every monster, and animal in the game. So essentially, it can allow for multiple dynamic animations for what before was but a single animation. And it does this without scripts or plugin files. There are already a handful of great mods utilizing DAR, like Cold Region Behavior, which adds conditional animations to have NPCs shiver in the coldest regions of Skyrim, and EVG Animation Variants, which has the elderly NPCs walking in a more stooped over fashion and has town guards standing at attention. And this is only 2 mods from an ever-growing list that is already well over 24 strong. The authors of these 2 mods have really advanced the modding of Skyrim to the next level. I, for one, cannot wait to see what creative modders end up making with these amazing tools. Combat Evolved is the first part of a 2-pronged approach to adding more excitement and variety to vanilla enemy encounters. Most of you are probably already very familiar with this mod. At its core, it improves enemy combat behavior. It is script-free and compatible with almost everything, which is always a big plus for me. The changes the mod makes are vast and I'm not going to cover them here, but rest assured that it does make combat more interesting, dangerous, and visceral. And its lightweight and script-free nature makes it ideal for using it in this blend.
Damn you!
You'll be so much easier to rob when you're dead.
Tell you what, you start running so I can stab you in the back. Boost! There you
Heritage, Reflexive Enemies, is the second part of the two-pronged approach to adding more excitement and variety to vanilla enemy encounters. It is an expansion of all the enemy factions in Skyrim, and it adds over 2,000 new enemy NPCs divided between the bandits, reavers, forsworn, vampires, warlocks, and falmer. And to these new enemies, it adds formerly player-only skills and abilities. And you'll notice these new enemies among the vanilla enemies right away, from either their unique looks or the way that they behave during combat. I've fallen in love with this mod, as it makes it feel like nearly every big battle now has a boss or a mini-boss type thrown in. I've seen assassins that make great use of poisons and flanking abilities, and cast out former members of the companions who are ultra tanky, and I've even seen some enemies that are secretly werebeasts among groups of vanilla enemies, especially among the forsworn. I'm constantly surprised and thrilled by what the mod throws at me. I use this one mainly for the books it adds to the game world that give you beneficial combat traits against specific enemy types. It's a great addition that can build up your combat stats in the long run by reading books found in the world. Everybody already knows this mod, and it is a staple for me as I just love to see my character perform epic kill moves. I use these two mods to make player and enemy attacks more focused and impose limits to movement while attacking. Everybody knows TK Dodge, and it is a great dodge mod. Sadly, it does not behave well in my script-heavy load order, while the Ultimate Dodge mod does basically the same thing and gives me no problems. And, like TK Dodge, it allows you to choose a dodge roll or a step dodge. Player option is always a plus.
You'll be so much easier to rob when you're dead.
Start running so I can stab you in the back.
This mod adds a lot of new Draugr types to the game, and it beefs up all of the vanilla types. And it does not just tweak the stats, all of the Draugr types now have multiple unique appearances. It's a great mod, and just what the Draugr needed to keep them interesting. It also overhauls the more important Draugr bosses like King Olaf and Red Eagle. This mod is all about enhancing the enemy's sight and hearing, and it forces them to search longer when they detect a disturbance. It's a great mod for the enemies in your game and is script-free. This mod adds potions and poisons to enemy inventories and is customizable via an MCM menu.
Enjoy your last breath.
I mainly use this one so that my companions will benefit from every possible enchantment they might have on their armor. In vanilla Skyrim, NPCs and companions are only affected by a very small number of armor enchantments, namely only the Fortify and Resist enchantments. A lot of different animation mods were used in this blend as well, but I know that different people like different animations and character movement, so I won't cover each one, but I'll list the ones that I used for this particular blend. Now we move on to a showcase of all of these mods working together.
I don't like where this is going.
Olaf, it is time.
What was that? good as dead.
That's it? That's all you got?
And here we have a bonus section, Dragon Mods. Splendor, Dragon Variants, increases the visual diversity of dragons and is extremely compatible with other dragon mods, which makes it great to combine with the next mod, which is KS Dragon Overhaul 2. This mod overhauls dragon combat by changing their AI and how they fight, and also has an MCM menu that lets you adjust difficulty specifically to your own tastes. Now, it is a scripted mod, not that scripted mods are bad, as they are not, but I'm always wary of adding more scripted mods to my load order because I'm already running very script heavy. So I'm happy to say that I've not seen any performance issues with this mod or crashes while fighting dragons. The mod also changes stagger settings, makes dragons actually shout, and physical pushback to you when dragons slam you with wings and tails. Now we are at the end of another episode. If you use any of these mods, please be sure to thank the mod authors with endorsements and donations if you can. They devote tons of their free time to help keep us entertained.